Words don't come easy. Words don't come easy to me. This is the only way for me to say I love you. Words don't come easy.
Hey everyone, Dome here, and I'm so excited to finally bring you this brand new series on the channel. This new series is going to be called Produce from Scratch, and this is something I've wanted to do for a long time, and you guys have been constantly asking for it. Every time I run a poll in my YouTube community tab, this is the most requested type of video. In this series, I'll be taking iconic tracks and rebuilding them entirely from the ground up. And for the very first episode, we're tackling an 80s super hit that's gone viral again recently thanks to Timothée Chalamet, Words by F.R. David. I'll be crafting all the synths, programming the drums, and even recording live guitars and bass to bring this track back to life. But here's the big twist. What about the vocals? The vocals has always been my problem when I always wanted to make these kinds of videos. So I found an amazing tool that allows me to do this, and this is Ace Studio. This first video of the series is brought to you by Ace Studio, so let's jump in and make some music. The whole point is to have fun and actually show you some techniques along the way so that you can actually get something really useful, whatever the song might be. So what I always like to do is bring in the original song in Cubase, find the tempo, figure out the chords and everything. Now this song is very interesting because every version that I found, it's slightly out of tune. So it's between C and C sharp. For this recreation, what I'm going to do is I'm going to assume that it's in C major because I've actually seen the musicians playing it in live performances and they clearly play C major. So I guess that must have been something that went on with the tape speed. Who knows? The first thing we have to do is tackle the drums. And for the drums, that's very easy for me because what I'm gonna do is I'm going to use my Modern 80s Kit Max and I'm going to show you how I've built the kits. I'm gonna have my kick drum right here and I'm going to use the Icon Kick 2, which works great for this one. Then I'm going to have my snare, and for this one I'm going to use the Super Snare 1. This sample, I found it works really well. I'm going to have some reverb with the gate. Just a touch. And for the kick drum, I'm also going to add a little bit of thump, a little bit of kick tape. Add a little bit of body to the snare as well. I'm going to build the pattern. Let's have a listen to the original first. Okay, that's pretty straightforward. 4 to the floor kick drum, the snare. That's a nice hi-hat. I think I'm gonna go for 8th notes for this one and add a little bit of dynamics variation. I don't want this to be too loud because you can't really hear a hi-hat very clearly on the actual song. That's great. I'm going to recreate some of the feels that we have in the track. That's one that we have to tackle straight away. That's good. And just like this, I'm going to recreate all the different patterns. So the break verse, very mild. Nothing is sticking out with the drums. The drums are actually quite subdued on this track. And then we have the pre-chorus too. This is the signature tom drums, in case you're wondering. The clap is a signature sound in this track, in my opinion, and this is where it comes in. For the clap, I'm gonna be using the power clap, and I've actually added the claps highlight sauce here. That's without it. And we need this. By the way, if you're interested in the Modern 80s Kit Max, I'm going to have a link in the description below. Now, the only thing I need to do is drag all these patterns right here in Cubase, and we have our drums sorted out. Now it's time for the main synth sound. And for the main synth sound, I have a theory. I think it's an OBX. Because if you listen closely, the sound goes from left to right all the time, so it bounces back and forth. And that's a very special characteristic of the Oberheim OBXA. I'm going to recreate the sound right here on my OB6 because it can do this trick, and the filter is really nice for this kind of sounds. But if you want to recreate the sound in a software synthesizer, I would suggest you check out Rasta by Steinberg or the Arturia clone of the OBX. So let's see what we can do. I'm gonna use 2 oscillators, 2 sawtooth waves, same octave, but I'm going to detune 1 oscillator. I think that's fine, and now what I'm gonna do is I'm going to raise the release a little bit. Turn up the pan spread. For the filter, I'm going to turn the frequency a little bit lower. And the release of the filter. So I get this wow, 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 wow. I'm going to add a little bit of chorus. And a tiny bit of reverb. And I think we're good to go. Let's record. Say a couple of things here. As you can see, I record everything in audio. I don't record anything in MIDI. Of course, I could record in MIDI, but I like to record in audio because I want all these subtle variations that I can introduce to my playing. So for example, if you noticed, I changed the release of the filter. Maybe I want to have a little bit of a longer release when the chorus comes, you know, so that I can let the sound bloom a little bit. This I can do in real time, and I don't have to worry about programming MIDI and all these things. The other thing I want to say for this track, I think the hook is this chord right here. Don't come easy to me. This G minor. That's the whole track, if you ask me. This is what makes the track memorable. It's the chord that you don't expect, because it's like... Then you get like this G minor. And then you get this high note as well. Only way. Of course, I'm using the pan spread, as I said previously. And this gives us the sound of the track. Time for bass. Okay, for the bass, I think it's probably an electric bass. It's very low in the mix. The track doesn't have too much low end, and actually it's very bright. If you listen to the original track, it's very sibilant. It's very sibilant, but the bass, I'm pretty sure it's like an electric bass picked. And it has a very punchy it has some like ghost notes later on down the line. So let's bring a bass. Let's bring the bass. Great. Awesome. I'm going to record a precision bass. I'm going to use one of my favorite preamps for bass. This is the Neve 1073. So I'm going to go in the front, in the DI section. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to route this to the Tube Tech CL1B. I'm going to add a tiny bit of compression there. We need a punchy sound, and the CL1B can give me this punch that I will need. I'm trying to have to mix as less as possible. I'm always trying to make sure I'm going in the best way possible. Sometimes I commit. So I commit to this compression because I know that this is the sound that I want in this case. Now that I have the foundation, this is the point where I would want to introduce the vocals. And that's because I'm going to build the rest of the orchestration and the arrangement around the vocals. And for this, like I said, I'm going to be using a very special tool. I'm going to be using Studio, and I'm going to show you how I can use it in two different ways today, because when I tried it the first time, I was really blown away. So I'm going to try it on this track today, and I have no idea what's going to happen. The first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure I have the same tempo on Studio, 124. That's the tempo of the track. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new instrument track. I'm going to add a plugin that's VST free, and I'm so happy about this because this works seamlessly in Cubase. It's called Ace Bridge 2, and this allows you to use the vocals that the Studio generates inside Cubase as an instrument track. And that's amazing because you can add effects, you can mix it, you can add compression, you can do whatever you want. So I'm going to add the track. I'm going to connect to Studio. I'm going to play the melody on my MIDI keyboard to the Ace Bridge. And then you can see how easily we can generate the vocals. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit record, and then I'm going to hit record in Cubase, and I'm going to record MIDI, and this will be transformed into a vocal. Let's check it out. Okay, so I just hit stop. You see Studio pops up straight away, and it shows me all the notes that I just played. They've been turned into a vocal. So the only thing I have to do now is go from record to AI vocal mode, and let's see how it sounds. That's amazing. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add the lyrics. Check how easy it is to add the lyrics, okay? So I'm going to double click. Words don't come easy to me. How can I find a way to make you see I love you? Words don't come easy. So you don't have to separate the notes. It does it automatically. Check it out.
Words don't come easy to me. How can I find a way to make you see I love you?
That's with nothing done to it, right? That's just typing the lyrics, playing the melody, and it comes up with his vocal. Now, the great thing is that you have full control over the vocal. So let's say I want to go here on find and make it a little bit more emotional, because the vocal is very fragile, it's very emotional, it's very sensitive. I think that's why the song is so popular. So what I can do here is I can go and say, I want to add some vibrato. So I can click on the vibrato here, and I can go and just add more vibrato and exaggerate it a little bit. Let's see.
How can I find a way?
That's so cool. You can even fade in the vibrato. You can change the fade out as well.
How can I find a way to make you see?
That's amazing. Now, the other thing that you can do is, of course, you can change the singer. You know what? I'm going to go for a male vocal because I think that for this one, we need a male vocal anyway. So I'm going to go for the Drex.
Words don't come easy to me.
And I think that's our singer. What do you think, Hero?
Absolutely.
That's the one, right? Okay, so this part right here,
Don't come easy.
I wanted it to be easy. So let's take this one and go like this with our pitch brush.
Don't come easy.
Yeah, maybe like that, a little bit like that, maybe. Like this.
Don't come easy to
Yeah, and a little bit of vibrato there, like this.
Don't come easy to me.
That's awesome. And now, check what else you can do. You can actually have air, and this means that the more you add, the more power the vocal is gonna have. Let's try the easy right here and see. I'll show you what it does.
Don't come easy.
See, it gives you more chest, and if I go a little bit lower,
Don't come easy to.
nice and soft. I love it. Then we have falsetto, and if you don't know what falsetto is, it's exactly the opposite of chest voice. So you go like, ah, or instead of, ah, you know. So let's try this.
Don't come easy.
So again, I can make it very delicate if I want. Then we have tension. I can do like broad edits like this, or I can even go here and start drawing the curves like this. So I can have total control. Let's listen.
Don't come easy to me.
Or the other way around.
Don't come easy to.
I actually like this. And one of the coolest things that you can do that's kind of hidden, to be honest with you, so I'm going to give you this tip here, is the voiceless pitch. So if I get my pitch brush and I hold the Option or Alt key on PC, I can actually go here and create a voiceless pitch. And this gives you a very expressive result. Check it out.
How can I find a way?
I love this thing. Let's go for the away and add the same thing like this.
How can I find a way?
The great thing is that you can add effects right here straight away. So I can add a compressor,
Words
de-esser.
don't come easy to me. How can I find a way to make you see?
Yeah, and this one actually I'm gonna go easy.
Words don't come easy.
Nice. So now that I have this, if I play back the track in Cubase, we will hear the vocal with the effects and everything.
Words don't come easy to me. How can I find a way to make you say I love you? Words don't come easy.
So, vocal sorted. You know what though? There's another way that you can actually create a vocal track with Ace Studio. And for me, this is very interesting because what you can do is you can sync something on your own and then you can import it into Ace Studio, and Ace Studio basically extracts everything, the expression, the delivery, what placement you did in your vocal. So let's do this. I'm going to give it as much information as possible. I'm going to do like a demo, very rough demo vocal. So I'm going to record my voice now. Please don't judge. I'm going to try and deliver this the way that the original singer did it. And this is, again, like I said, very delicate, very fragile. It's a very falsetto kind of vocal. It's not a chesty, powerful one. Let's do this.
Words don't come easy to me. How can I find a way to make you see I love you? Words don't come easy. Well, I'm just a music man. Melodies are for my best friend. But the words are coming around when I reveal my heart to you and hope that you believe it's true, 'cause words.
Okay, that was fun, but I gave Ace Studio a lot of information. Let's see how it interprets it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to drag my vocal inside Ace Studio, and now it's going to say that it's going to convert the dry vocals with MIDI and lyrics. And now it's processing it. Let's see what happens. And boom, it converted my vocal. Let's see how it sounds without touching anything. Let's see. I like Drex. Drex, who are you?
Words don't come easy to me. This is the only way for me to say I love you. Words don't come easy.
Okay, that's pretty impressive, isn't it? Basically took all the expression, all the nuances from my vocal, and I wasn't very particular with my vocal. It was a very rough vocal, just a demo vocal, and it basically translated it. Let's go a little bit further down because I did a little bit of chest voice there.
When I say I love you, honey, please believe I really do, 'cause
Even even this, cause even this. It does everything, like the expression, the breathing. And of course, you have all these different singers to choose from. I love the opera one. If you're gonna do this, you have to go one octave higher. And funnily enough, it has the same shortcut like Cubase. It's shift and up arrow on your keyboard. I like that. I don't have to learn new shortcuts.
Words that don't come easy to me.
Okay, that's the next track. I'm gonna do this in opera version. So you know what I'm gonna do? I have the reverb right there that I actually like. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to go here and add a little bit of filtering to make it, because the original vocal is very, very, very bright and it has 0 low end. So I'm gonna go 6 dB of slope and a very gentle slope, and I'm gonna go quite drastic. Let's listen.
Words
Yeah.
that don't come easy to me. How can I find a way to make you say I love you? Words don't come easy.
This, I treat these guys as a vocal synthesizer. If you're a film composer and you want to pitch a song, or if you're a producer and you want to pitch a song but you don't have singing skills, this can be a lifesaver. For me as a producer, it's also a great tool because I can immediately communicate to a singer how I want a part to be sung. Okay, I think I have the vocal now. It goes without saying that when you're happy with your vocal, you can just go to a studio and export the audio. You can export the audio with effects. You can export it without the effects. Hit export, import it into Cubase, and you're good to go. You have a vocal ready. Now, I know very well, because I've done this in the past, that this video is going to get demonetized, because last time I did this with the Narcos theme recreation, I did this a while ago, YouTube thought it was the original track, and it completely demonetized the video. So we're going to get demonetized today. That's all good. But if you want to support the channel, you can actually check out a studio. I'm going to have a link down below. And of course, you can check out my instruments, my Motor 80s Kit Max that we're using right here. So I appreciate it if you do any of these. These videos take a lot of time to make, so the first thing I want you to do is to enjoy it. Now, let's move on to a sound that is one of my favorite sounds in this track, and it has a hook as well. It's the counter melody, and it's this one.
Words don't come easy to me.
And what I hear in this sound is obviously a very spiky belly kind of sound on the left channel. And then on the right channel, I think we have a guitar there. And this is a guitar with a tremolo. And this is a tremolo and a delay that's programmed in triplets. So it's like, listen to it. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna create the sound for the synths, and then we're going to create the sound for the guitar. And the first sound that I'm gonna do is a dum bum bum. So for this, I'm gonna use a combination of the Prophet 10 and maybe the OB6. Let's do this. Let's get to the Prophet. Hold on. Actually, it might be a good idea to also do like vocal harmony. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to duplicate this vocal. I'm going to edit it a little bit because I need the harmonies in only a few places. I'm going to pan this. I'm going to move the notes 1/3 above, and now we have our harmony.
Words don't come easy to me. How can I find a way for me to say?
All right, let's check it out. In my opinion, the Prophet 10 can give you some really nice belly sounds. It's not so sharp like a DX7, for example, like an FM synthesizer. But for this kind of track, I think it works really well. So let's introduce the first oscillator, which, as you can see, it's pretty much a square wave. And what I can do is I can modulate the pulse width. So I can get a sound like this. So as you can see, I have the destination for my LFO. So I can modulate the pulse with A and B, because the second oscillator is also a square wave. And this is going to give us the belly sound. It's nothing complicated, I just have quite a bit of release here. And in order to make the sound a little bit more wide and give it a little bit of space, I'm going to add a tiny bit of reverb. That might be a little bit over the top. Actually, I'm gonna go for a plate, maybe. Yeah, that's much better. Okay, let's play it.
Words don't come easy to me. This is the only
And as you can see, once more, I don't use MIDI. I commit. It's like I'm playing an acoustic instrument. It's like I'm playing a guitar. Just play it. If I make a mistake, I re-record it. And I don't even quantize. Actually, from this entire track, apart from the drums that we programmed, nothing else is going to be quantized. I'm going to play it and I'm going to make sure I get it right. And I want it to be a tiny bit sloppy because the track is not super sharp. It's quite loose in certain points. So that's the bell. Before we go ahead and double this on the OB6, I also want to create a few more sounds here on the Prophet. The next sound I'm going to play is this very kind of spooky, warm, woolly sound that keeps playing, especially when we have this G minor chord that I told you about, that I think it's the actual hook of the song and it's the strong point of the song.
to me. This is the only way.
Hear that sound? That sound I'm gonna do on the Prophet. At this point, I wanna say this video is probably gonna be way too long. How long? I'm going to have an extended version of this video for my channel members. So if you're a channel member, this video is going to be uploaded right after this. So make sure you check it out. It's gonna be in the members page waiting for you. And this is going to be the full uncut version. So this is a very simple sound. I'm gonna start with the second oscillator here on the Prophet. I'm going to set it to the triangle wave and let's listen to how it sounds. I'm going to turn up the attack quite a bit. Modulate. Now I'm going to introduce the second oscillator. That's a square wave, and this sounds like this. And this I added to get a little bit of this spookiness, you know, this wow, because I'm modulating the pulse width as well. Now, in order to complete this sound, I want to make it sound a little bit spread out. And because the Prophet 10, obviously, it's mono synth, meaning that it's not stereo, I'm going to use a chorus. I have a chorus right here, the Helix HX Stomp, and check the difference. And this is just right. Now we've spread it out a little bit. And of course, I'm going to add a little bit of reverb because this sound is a little bit in the back and I want to give it a little bit of a tail as well. So that change from major to minor, this is the sound that signifies it. So let's play it. It's not one of these sounds that stick out to you, but if you remove it, the whole harmony and the whole impact of the harmony is gone. Let's listen to another sound I want to create. So we have these scales right there. So I'm gonna make sure that I articulate those notes. I don't want them to be legato. So I'm just going to play them ever so slightly detached, détaché. Yeah, so it needs a little bit of practice. Again, no quantize allowed. Yeah, that's right. That's the right delivery for this. 2 oscillators. And this is a sawtooth and a square. Filter. It's gonna be like pum, 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 pum. It's very fast, so the decay has to be fast enough. I want it round still because it sounds to me like a brass sound. I'm not gonna add any effects to this. This is going to be completely dry.
I reveal my heart to you and hope that you believe it's true, 'cause words.
Now I want to double this bell sound that we played earlier on the Prophet 10, and I'm going to do this on the OB6 because this can give me an extra layer of belliness, and that's because it has a high pass filter. So I'm going to go all the way to high pass filter, bring up the first oscillator. That's a sawtooth wave, and then I'm gonna bring up the second oscillator, and this is a square wave, but that's 1 octave higher. This is very, very belly. And again, I'm going to be modulating the pulse width with my mod wheel using my LFO right here. Now, the other thing that I want to do right here, I like doing these tricks, is to add a little bit of noise. Just add a little bit of airiness to the sound. It might sound a little bit too much here, but this is going to be a layer. So in this case, I like to have a little bit of an extra airiness for this specific layer. See, I can make it very thin. Let's record it.
Words, but don't come easy to me. This is the
So now we have another sound right here in the pre-chorus.
well, I'm just a music man, melody.
And I'm going to recreate this right here actually, because this is again a very bright sound. I think we can get some really good results with the OB6. And actually I can take this sound that we just created for the bell as a basis.
Well, I'm just a music man, melodies are for my best friend. But the words are coming wrong when I reveal my heart to you and hope that you believe it's true, 'cause
And that's it! Before we move on to the guitars, there's one little sound that I think plays only once in the song, and it's this sound.
well, I'm just a music.
See, is this?
Well, I'm just
That's a very sharp sound. It sounds to me like it could be an FM sound. For this one, I'm gonna use a soft synth. And in this case, I'm going to use FM Lab, and I basically created the sound from scratch. So it's a very metallic sound. Let's play it.
easy. Well, I'm just a music man.
And that's it. This sound plays only once in the whole track. It's time for guitars. Okay, let's plug it in. So the first sound I want to take care of is the sound that plays along with the belly sounds from the synths, but it's on the right speaker. So you can hear it's like a ba-ma-ma, ba-ma-ma, ba-ma-ma. So in this case, I'm using Amplitude 5, and let me show you the sound that I've created. You can already hear it. I've already panned it, by the way. When I'm producing, I like to do this straight away. I just go here, and instead of having it in the middle, I just pan it straight away so that I can sync with the track. So what I have here is I have a Fender Twin Reverb. I love the sound of this amp, the real thing as well. So what I have here is I have a decomp. This basically allows me to compress the sound so that it sustains for a little bit longer, because I want the sound to ring out while we have the next thing in the chain, which is the tremolo. So let's listen to it without it. Okay, so with the compressor. And it adds a little bit of drive as well. I love that. Then I have the Opto Tremolo. And for this one, I'm using a triplet value. So this is an 8th note triplet. And it sounds like this. Triplets, right? And then I follow this with a graphic EQ because I want this to be a very thin but very prominent sound. And my strat here is very warm, so by adding the EQ, and you know, I don't want any low end in this case. It's a very thin sound. The thing that I have after this is this delay, this echo, and I'm going to add a little bit more. And again, I have the repeats. Ta-ta-ta, ta-ta-ta. It's a triplet, right? Perfect. So let's record this sound.
Words, but don't come easy to me. This is the only way for me to say I love you. Words don't come easy.
Then we have these guitars.
Come easy. This is just a
Yeah, that's easy. For this one, I'm going to use a profile from the Kemper. I'm gonna do one of my favorite tricks when I record guitars, if I want to spread them left and right. I record one part with a pickup configuration, and then I record a second part that I'm going to pan on the right with a different pickup configuration. So this way, I'm getting a very nice wide sound because the sounds are slightly different. So let's do this.
I love you. Words don't come easy. This is just a simple song.
Last but not least, I want to add one last final little sound. It's very, very subtle, but I'm pretty sure it's there. And this is a clean guitar that's muted that doubles the bass. So with the bass, this sounds like this.
Easy to me. How can I find the way to make you say I
And that's
love
it. All the instruments are in. As you can see, if you produce right, you barely have to mix. I don't need to compress. I don't need to do anything else. It's just right. It fits in the mix. And you know why it fits in the mix? Because I performed it while listening to the right level. I did my gain staging right. Try and make sure you play the part like you need to play it, and then do your gain staging while you're recording with the right amount of level so that the track already fits well in the mix before you even mix it. That's going to change your life forever. I promise you. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know if you want me to make more of these series produced from scratch. Huge thanks to Ace Studio for supporting the channel. And of course, let's listen to the track with the vocals exclusively made with Ace Studio.
Words